"46 years. Can you even imagine, like, a question just hanging there, unanswered for almost half a century?
It's hard to wrap your head around for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happened with the Kathryn Donohue murder. It's a cold case from way back in 1979 in Glenarden, Maryland. And only now, in 2025, has there been a resolution.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Totally. And we've got this news report here laying it all out, this incredible story. And, well, what we want to do today is really dig into how this decades-old mystery was finally solved.
Right, and I think what's really fascinating here is what it tells us about how things have changed. I mean, how we go about pursuing justice, you know? It's a different world now than it was in 1979.
100%. Okay, so let's go back. Way back to the very beginning.
Yeah.
March 3rd, 1979.
Okay.
Kathryn Donohue, 31 years old, living in Arlington, Virginia. And on that day, she was found murdered, brutally murdered in a parking lot in Glenarden.
Awful.
Yeah, the report doesn't sugarcoat it. Beaten, raped, I mean, just horrifying. It's chilling to think about the shock of that discovery. And then, you know, all the years that followed, just not knowing.
Right, and you think about those initial investigators, they were working with what they had at the time.
Yeah.
It sounds like they were thorough, followed all the leads, you know, really tried to make connections.
They did.
But despite everything, no suspect.
And get this.
Okay.
The guy who was arrested just recently, Rodger Zodas Brown, he actually lived in Prince George's County back when it happened.
No kidding.
Yeah. But he never even popped up on their radar. Apparently there was no obvious connection between him and Donohue at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine carrying that around for years, an unsolved case like that?
Ugh, must be so frustrating. It would eat at you for sure. And for Kathryn's family. I mean, just agonized, right? All those years of silence.
I can't even imagine.
But then, fast forward to 2024.
Okay.
There was a piece of evidence that had been there from the start. DNA.
Oh, interesting.
And finally, it provided the answer.
This is where the evolution of forensic science really comes into play, right?
It is. It really is.
Think about it. Back in '79, DNA analysis wasn't what it is today.
Not even close.
Right. I mean, the technology has just exploded over the last few decades. What was once invisible, basically useless, is now this incredible tool.
Powerful stuff.
It really is.
So what actually cracked the case, the real game changer, was genetic genealogy. They used that in 2024. Now, some people might not know exactly what that is. Can you break it down for us?
Sure. So it's not the same as just matching DNA found at a crime scene to a suspect in like a police database, right?
Okay.
Instead, genetic genealogy, it uses these big databases of DNA that people submit to ancestry websites. They're trying to trace their family history, right? So you end up with this massive network of genetic information.
Oh, I see.
And then law enforcement, they can take the unknown DNA from the crime scene and compare it to all of that.
Fascinating.
Yeah, and they're not looking for a perfect match to the suspect, but they're looking for matches to relatives, anyone related to the suspect. And then, by figuring out those relationships, building these family trees, investigators can narrow down the possibilities until they zero in on the potential suspect.
Kind of like an ancestry search, but with like a much, much more intense purpose.
Yeah, exactly. It's a pretty amazing tool.
So in this case, the crime scene DNA ended up matching a relative of Rodger Zodas Brown in one of those ancestry databases.
Unbelievable.
So what happened after that? What did the investigators do with that link?
Right. Well, it's not an instant identification, unfortunately. It takes a lot of legwork. They have to do this deep dive into genealogy, building a family tree, basically, starting from that initial match.
Wow.
And then they're looking for someone in that family tree that fits what they know about the potential suspect. Age, where they lived at the time, that kind of thing. Any little detail helps. And in the Donohue case, all those threads led to Brown. But they wouldn't just arrest him right away. They'd have to gather more evidence to make a solid case.
Of course.
Yeah.
So ultimately, that led to the arrest of this 82-year-old Rodger Zodas Brown, right at his home in Pinehurst, North Carolina. Just recently, actually.
Yeah.
And there's this detail in the report that really stuck with me. It says that when they arrested him, he was solemn and cold, like no emotion at all.
It's tough to say what that means, really. Everyone reacts differently in a situation like that. I mean, it's a huge shock, right? Especially after all this time.
Yeah, true. And the charges are serious. First-degree murder, rape, and a bunch of other offenses. So he's in custody in North Carolina right now, waiting to be sent back to Maryland to stand trial.
That's the extradition process.
Right.
And then after that, the trial itself, trying a case that's this old, decades old, it's going to be tricky. Lots of challenges.
Definitely. But even with all that, I mean, the fact that they made an arrest after 46 years, it's huge.
And
It
it's
speaks
huge.
volumes about those investigators and their dedication.
Absolutely. And for the victim's family, I mean, wow. Just reading their statement, it's powerful. They said, their relentless pursuit of the truth has finally given us a sense of closure that we never thought possible after all this time.
It gives me chills, actually. You can just feel the weight lifting off them.
Yeah, that's what's so important about solving cold cases. It brings a kind of peace to the families, and they can finally start to heal.
Totally. And Prince George's County Police Chief Malik Aziz, he said, this case serves as a reminder that we will never give up seeking the truth.
It really does. And it reminds us that there are still so many families out there waiting for answers.
It's true. And the investigation isn't over yet. The report says they're looking into whether Brown might be connected to other unsolved crimes from around that time. It's scary to think about, but it could bring closure to so many other people.
It's certainly possible. I mean, now they have his DNA, so they can compare it to evidence in other cases. It's a long shot, but you never know.
And they're encouraging anyone with information to come forward. They gave a number in the report, the Prince George's County Police Department, at 301-516-259.
Yeah, sometimes the smallest detail can make a big difference.
So big picture here, this whole case really shows how important genetic genealogy has become.
It's a game changer, no doubt about it. The report even calls it a revolutionary tool.
And it's hard to argue with that.
I mean, cases that used to hit a dead end, now they have this whole new avenue for solving them.
Incredible. It really shows how science is giving us new ways to fight for justice, even after all these years.
Right. And the hope is that these advancements will keep helping us solve more cold cases, bring more families the answers they deserve.
I hope so, too. So, to wrap things up, the Kathryn Donohue case is a powerful reminder that justice can prevail, even after decades. It's a story of incredible perseverance, the incredible power of technology, and the unwavering commitment to finding the truth.
It really makes you think. We often assume these old cases are just lost to time. But with tools like genetic genealogy, there's always a chance to uncover the truth.
And that's why we do these deep dives. It's about learning from the past and holding on to hope for the future. Thanks for joining us.
Of course. It's
Well,
always a pleasure.